Arpeggios are essential because they're gonna help you to build the perfect left-hand accompaniment to your favorite songs, and they're also gonna help you to limber up your fingers, get really confident all across the keyboard, and sound like a pro. So in this video, we're going to learn 3 essential arpeggio patterns together. All right, our first pattern shows up everywhere in pop music. Hallelujah, perfect, can't help falling in love, Unchained Melody. It's so useful. So what we're gonna do is I want you to take your right hand, place your 1 finger or your thumb on G. We're gonna skip with our 2 finger up to B, our 3rd finger up to D, and then we're gonna play G on top. So basically what we're doing is we're playing the 1, the 3, and the 5 of the chord that we're on. So we can roll through this, G, B, D, G, and then right back down. So get used to that movement for a moment. It's really important that you're allowing your wrist to rotate a little bit. You're not trying to stay stiff and stuck. Nice curve in your fingers, nice rotation, almost like a leading movement here with your elbow. So that's how the pattern's gonna work, but we're gonna move it through a chord progression. So we're gonna be playing through this arpeggio on a G chord, an E minor chord, a C chord, and a D chord. And no, that's not normally how I would play an arpeggio with those fingers, but because this is the fingering for this pattern, that's gonna set me up for success. So let's see if we can do this together. We're gonna play G, B, D, G, D, B, and then your whole hand is gonna move. You're not gonna play this bottom G again. You're gonna use that moment to play the next starting note. So now we're gonna be playing E, G, and B. After the G, you're gonna get ready. You're gonna target C, E, G, C. Get ready for the D, D, F sharp, A. Okay, so let's roll through that again together. G, down to E, this is an E minor chord. And then we'll get ready to pivot down to C. And then we'll move up to D. Now I'm gonna keep this going and I'm going to add in my left hand. So you can do this too if you feel ready. Left is 5, 3, 2, 1. Same notes. Down to E. And this takes some practice, so don't worry if you don't get this right away. It's a great thing to add to your daily practice routine because it's so versatile. One more time. Here's G. E minor. Down to C. And then up 1 step to D. And he did it. All right, shake out those fingers. You did super well. Now we're gonna be working on a pattern I know your ears will know. And this one is based off of broken triads because an arpeggio is simply a broken chord or a series of notes played individually. So it doesn't have to be your traditional classical arpeggio practice. You can create arpeggio patterns out of basically anything. So I'm gonna show you the pattern and then I'll walk you through it. So let me know when you recognize this song. Right? It's iconic. So how do we do this? Here we go. This first shape is actually based off of an E flat chord, but we're playing it in this order. So we've got E flat, B flat, and G. Then we come back up to the E flat, B flat, G, and then E flat, B flat. So you can also think about it this way. If this is the shape that you're working from, you can think top, middle, bottom, top, middle, bottom, top, middle. One more time. And then you're gonna move your shape. So now we're going to be playing D flat, B flat, and F. But we're playing it in a different order. So we've got D flat, B flat, F, and the pattern is the same. So we'll repeat that again. So we've got D flat, B flat, F. So same order, top, middle, bottom, top, middle, bottom, top, middle. Now we're gonna move our chord shape one more time to here. This is a root position F minor chord, and we're gonna use the exact same pattern. Top, middle, bottom, top, middle, bottom, top, middle. Okay, So when we add just one note at a time with our left hand, this is going to sound just like clocks. So watch this. First, I'm going to be playing an E flat with my left hand. So you can just play E flat right here. Get your hand ready to go. Now we're going to move to B flat. And we're going to repeat that. And then we're going to go to F minor. One more time. B flat. Again. And then F minor. So pretty. Now, if you're like, what are these chords? How are you building them? Don't worry, we've got you covered with our chords and skills book. So if you want to check that out, it's super easy. Just you can flip through it, find the chords you want to play, and it'll give you a picture of how they look. Link for that is below this video. Okay, so now what I want to do is I just want to show you how you can apply that anywhere. So that pattern works for any chord progression. If you were to play G to E minor, you could do the same thing. Top, middle, bottom, top, middle, bottom, top, middle. There's a C chord. Sounds way different than it does for clocks, but you get the idea. Now you have this essential pattern, you can apply it to any chord that you'd like. All right, our third pattern, this one may be the prettiest one, is based off of one of the arpeggio patterns I use most frequently when I'm accompanying myself. So the really basic version of this uses the root, the fifth, and the root of whatever chord you're on. So if I'm playing an E minor chord, I would build this pattern using the bottom note, the fifth, and then I would put that root on the top again. So you could just play like, sounds super pretty. You can literally apply this to any pop song, any improvisation, anything. You can also rock back and forth on the top two notes here. So pretty. So all I'm doing here is I'm playing E minor, and I'm using root, fifth, root, fifth, root, fifth, root, fifth. Then I'm using a D chord, but I'm just using the root and the fifth. And then I'm going to A. I'm doing the same thing. And you can just play your chords in your right hand. One more time, here's E minor. Here's D. This is just an inversion of D. And then here's A. Okay? So that's it in its most basic form. But I really wanted to show you guys something extra special and extra beautiful in this lesson. So I'm gonna do something a little bit crazy. I'm gonna play it for you first, and then I'll explain how it works. And it's based off of this concept. So it sounds like this. So pretty. Okay, so you can play this by playing B, E, and B. And you're just moving your hand back and forth on that pattern. 3, 4. And then you're gonna shift B and D and B. Just a little shift, and you really have to rotate in your wrist so you don't get sore. Then we're gonna move to F sharp, D, and F sharp. And then we're gonna move to A, D, and A. And our left hand is gonna play, first we're gonna play an E. 3, 4, then we're gonna move to B. Move to F sharp. And then we're going to move to D. So what I did is I took just a couple of notes and created a pattern out of them. And these notes were taken from the chords I was playing. In this example, I used a chord progression that uses E minor, B minor, D over F sharp, which simply means that my right hand plays the D chord, and my left hand is going to highlight that F sharp, which is part of the D chord, and then a D with D in the bottom. That's my chord progression. And then instead of playing all of the notes, I selected 2 notes to highlight in each of these patterns from the chord. So instead of starting my pattern on E, which is the root note of the E minor chord, I was like, let's try highlighting the B of this E minor chord. And I'm gonna play just B and E. And it creates this really open sound. Now for the B minor chord, I chose to let go of this F sharp and highlight the B and the D. So all I'm playing is B, D, and B. For the D/F sharp chord, I'm choosing to highlight F sharp and D, so I got rid of the A. And for the D chord, I'm choosing to highlight A and D, so I got rid of that F sharp again. So it's like the chords are the same, but you're sort of tricking your ear to hear them differently. And it's really cool because people are often surprised. It's a surprising sound. It's not the norm. So it creates interest, it creates beauty, it can create intensity, and it's a really fun concept to explore. So I think the point I'm trying to make is when you're creating your own arpeggio patterns, feel free to take risks. You can start with just the simple root, fifth, and root. But then get curious about what your options are within that chord. So if I have D, F sharp, and A, maybe I just want to use these guys. It's just a different sound. It's so pretty. So I hope these patterns have inspired you. I would love to hear which one is your favorite, so comment below and let me know. And if you need any help or extra guidance practicing these, we do have a really great practice tool inside the Pianote members area that will allow you to kind of step by step, you'll see the notation, it'll be great. And you can access that for free with the 7-day trial linked below this video. So I hope to see you in the members area and happy practicing.